Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to need the mic, I don't think. I have a loud voice, which helps me when I'm talking to someone in the kennel anyway, when all the dogs are barking. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I have a dog training facility in Des Plaines where we do boarding, training, grooming, doggy daycare, sort of the one-stop place to stop with your dogs and have all your dog's needs fulfilled. I've been in business for 19 years, and I've been fortunate enough to help a lot of dogs that are in big-time need of some guidance and some discipline and some direction. We're going to get to that in a little bit as far as why dogs need direction and how important it is for them to have the direction. Really, really, really important. Before I go any farther, I must ask that you hold all questions until we're done, and then we're going to have a question and answer period. I have a short-term memory, so if you ask me a question, I'm gone. I'll start talking about my children or something. So we'll have a nice question and answer period after we're done. We've been fortunate enough to help a lot of dogs out. And we've gone national as far as I go everywhere from LA to Atlanta to New York to help people out with their dogs. Dog training is so much more than what we're used to as far as heel, sit, stay, lie down and stay, and come. Back in when I started, that was what we did: heel, sit, down, stay, and come. What we did is we taught dogs, or we programmed dogs to respond to human commands, right? So we program them to heel, sit, down, stay, and come. We program them to respond to human language, okay? This is a dog. Although heel, sit, down, stay, and come are nice commands, they're great commands for your dogs to learn. I think every dog should know how to lay down and stay. Here, if I'm at a coffee shop or what, my dog, when I tell her to lay down and stay, that's it. That's her command to go into dreamland, and she zonks. But more so than anything else, it's nice if I'm at a coffee shop or I'm somewhere and I bring my dog, that I can put my dog here and have a well-mannered, well-behaved dog, and one that's not going to be bugging. Some people don't like dogs, although hopefully we all do here, right? I hope so. But some people don't like a dog, going into their pockets or whatever the case may be. So. Just relax and calm and mellow. And don't get me wrong, I can take her out into my backyard and get her crazy, but when I bring her in, now it's time to relax. Now it's time to calm down. So it's nice to kind of be able to turn on and off that mechanism, which I'm sure probably some of you guys have problems doing. In all honesty, she was a rescue dog, and I got her when she was about 10 months old. A lady brought her in to be trained, and she told me she was deaf. The dog's completely deaf. Twister is deaf, although sometimes I think she hears. She's the first one to go barking at something at the door, and there's nothing there, but she likes to once a week go barking at the door like she's doing something, but she's deaf, and so the lady was having a hard time making her listen. I put about it was kind of difficult for her, so I put about 10 days of training into her. Fell in love with her, absolutely fell in love with her, called the lady up. She had 3 other dogs. And I said, listen, this is a beautiful dog. I love her. I want her. Please give her to me. The lady was nice enough to let me have the dog. And so she's had about 10 days of obedience because I'm now older and I have children that are older, and so my life starts I work from about 9 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon. Then I say my day begins, because then I'm running my children all around. So my dogs, I train everyone else's dogs, and I work with everyone else's dogs. So my dogs don't get the training that they need. But what I do is I live with them in a correct manner. That's huge, huge, huge. So although you may think this dog is really well trained, she is to a point, but not in obedience. And obedience helped me establish my dominance, but she is more behavioral trained, and just the things I did, which I'm going to share with you guys tonight, helped get her to this, really more than heel, sit, down, stay, and come. I do, even if I bring a new dog into my house, I have 5 dogs at my house. Yes, I have a kennel license at my house, and I have 5 dogs at my house, and they're all rescues, and they all were missing something. 90% of the dogs that come to me, I'll tell you, their behavioral problems are really not due to the dog as much as it is the owner's lack of knowledge. That's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. You know, people have dogs that are barking, or dogs that are housebreaking issues, or whatever the case may be, hyperactivity, and people get frustrated, you know, and then what they do is they come into me and go, I have the world's dumbest dog. No, you really don't. But basically what happens is, you know, people tend to humanize dogs. So what I mean by that is they tend to raise their dogs like they do their children. And they're not human as much as we would like to think they are. They have, I think that the reason why we humanize them, as time goes on, we're humanizing dogs more and more and more, is their eyes. I believe that they have very, very, very human quality about their eyes. And it's something that, how can you not, I mean, how could you not fall in love and melt with that, right? I mean, it's very hard, but the thing to understand and realize with a dog that you can do with your children, dogs don't reason. Huge. People think that, a lot of people think that dogs don't have memories, you know, good memories. Dogs have incredible memories. They absolutely, you know, well, my puppy doesn't remember peeing in the kitchen an hour ago, so I can't reprimand him. Oh, your puppy remembers peeing in the kitchen. It's not that he doesn't remember peeing in the kitchen, but the reason why you can't reprimand them after time is because what they understand is, you know, you come in, what did you do? You know, and the dog, okay, looks at you like this, right? And you're going, oh, he remembers because he's all nervous, and he doesn't remember. He's not remembering that he peed in the kitchen. That's not his issue when you ask him that. More so than anything else, what happens is he knows you, the human, are upset with him. So what he's doing is he's not showing you remorse for peeing in the kitchen, okay? What he's doing is he's showing you submissive behavior, which a lot of people tend to confuse with remorse. Dogs don't show remorse. That would take reason, the power to reason. So at this point, you know, then people drag them over, put their nose by the pee, and no, bad dog, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. It means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So at that point, you know, if you come in and you see a little present for you, whichever, right? If you see a little present for you and you did not catch your dog in the act, you cannot reprimand them. You cannot, it's like darn, and then clean it up and go on. Your goal is, when you're housebreaking a puppy, is basically to catch them in the act. If you catch them in the act when they're going in your house, when they're making a mistake, which that's how we train them to be good, is by making mistakes. So if you catch them, I call that a productive pee. And if you don't catch them, it was very non-productive. So you want to make your times productive, and it's something that with time, patience, energy, effort, you know, you can housebreak any dog. I mean, it's something, but it requires patience, and it requires repetition, you know, catching them, taking them out, and all that good stuff. And we're going to get to puppy questions shortly as well. You know, we'll get to some puppy questions. Again, going back to Twister for a sec, and you know, she's totally deaf, so it's important to me that I bring the deaf dog to you guys so you can really see and understand and know how your verbalization with your dog means absolutely nothing, right? No, oh, I love you, or good dog, or whatever the case may be. We talk to the dogs more for ourselves than for the dogs, right? We talk to more for ourselves than the dogs. Dogs like it when you talk. Okay, because basically you're communicating, and any type of communication with your dog is really, really nice. But it doesn't mean anything. It's the tone of your voice that means things to your dogs. Oh, hi. Bad dog, right? So these are the reactions that you get. It's also by your body language. But you have to remember that all dogs, even the cute little poodles with the nice round heads that we're breeding for now to actually make them look more human. I say we, I'm not. But the breeders are actually, if you notice, the dogs are getting rounder heads. They're getting more human qualities to them, shorter noses, right? Unless they want to look like me, right? So basically at that point, we tend to put our human reasoning into dog behavior. Dogs, all dogs, whether it's this small or this big, they're wolf. They have the wolf DNA. They are wolf. They are wolf. When we domesticated dogs as humans, what that actually meant is that they no longer had to hunt for their food, right? So now they're depending on human for food, and that's where domestication started and came into the factor. So once we got them to where they were dependent on human, then they become more and more and more domesticated. Hello? There you go. So just trying to make sure she doesn't fall asleep. She's getting paid, by the way, so I got to keep her up. So basically, you have to remember that all dogs have wolf DNA. So when it comes time, here I see a lot of dogs with aggressive issues. I see a lot of dogs with separation issues, separation anxiety issues. I see a lot of dogs with just hyperactivity. Dogs are not natural born leaders. They're not. Okay, they're very much pack animals, which is why I explained what wolf is a little bit. But they're pack animals. People call me all the time. I put my dog in the backyard, and he's been out there for like an hour, and he won't shut up. Well, he's out in the backyard by himself. Okay, dogs are pack animals. They don't want to be by themselves. They are pack animals, so they want to be with the pack, right? So at that point, I'm like, well, bring him in, And then they're like, so whether they put him outside or, well, it's a beautiful spring day, and I thought he should be outside. Yeah, okay, but he doesn't want to be outside by himself. Go outside and he will stop barking. So you don't want a dog that obviously barks right when you put him outside. You want him to go to the bathroom and all that good stuff, but dogs don't want to be by themselves. They truly don't. They're pack animals. That's what's instinctively in them. So, we don't get a dog, theory is, to put them outside all the time. But why dogs start getting put outside by the family is they're acting up in the house. Oh, Bob and Jean are coming over for dinner, and I just don't want to, deal with the dog, my dog's behavior, or they don't like dogs, or whatever the case may be. If you didn't like dogs, well, my dog would not be bugging you right now. She's out of the way. She's not it, but she can still be with the pack, with us, because that's instinctively where they want to be. It's very, very important. So if we realize that dogs are pack animals, like the wolves, okay, it makes things a little bit easier to understand. And that's something that's very important. I'm actually going to put her to work for a sec. I'm sorry to bug you. She's deaf, so basically at that point, I taught her hand commands to a point, like in my backyard when I want her to come in. When I let her out the last time at the evening, I turn on and off my lights, my backyard lights. She knows that means come. She's upstairs. I can turn on and off the hallway lights. She comes in, or comes to me, finds me. Collars. We're going to get to some equipment. My dog never wears a collar. Very, very rarely do I ever put a collar on. So rare that I couldn't find it tonight. But it really doesn't matter, what kind of collar you have, what kind of, it's more of just having something around their neck. The reason why we train dogs with collars, and the reason why we use the neck, is because that's the strongest muscle in their body, and that's how mom reprimands them, is by the neck. Okay, so as puppies or packs of wolves or whatever, that's how mom reprimands them. So when I'm walking a dog, I want a dog to walk nicely by my side, right? Doesn't have to be perfect if you don't mind, but I certainly don't want this, which is what I see all the time, right? I see people coming in and the dog's walking them. I'm like, oh, he's training you well, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to teach a dog to walk nicely by our side with a nice loose leash. If they're not walking in like this is how they're walking in. They're hanging the dog and the dog's choking. and because they don't want the dog to get in front of them. So basically, how you teach your dog to walk nicely by your side is just when you start walking, if they start getting in front of you, what you do is you give a little jerk straight back, like if it were a big dog, you're trying to hit its tail. She already knows. Actually, what I like is the dog to be behind me a little bit, and the reason why she's behind me a little bit is she's showing me respect. First leader goes first, right? Leaders first. Good. I want her to sit or lay down or whatever the case may be. When I come to a stop, what I don't want is me to stop and then have her going up to you guys to be patted or whatever the case may be. So every time she got in front of me, what I would do is give a little jerk back over and over and over. Repetition is key. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. So people go, well, how can I stop a dog from pulling if the leash is always tight? What you do is you just start off, and if they start going out, just stop and give a little jerk. Straight back, not up. Straight back, right? Because walks are huge. Come on, baby. Come on. I still talk to her all the time. How can you not, right? But walks are important because, number one, you're getting your dog out of the house, which is really, really key, really important. You're getting your dog out of the house. That's very, very important. Your dog doesn't want to be in the house all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and out in the backyard. That's no fun. They want to get out and see the world. We don't want to be in our house or in our backyard 24/7. That's no fun. That's not a way to live life. So by getting your dog out, not only are you helping them mentally, they get to look and see what's going on, but you also get to get your dog to where you're getting discipline over your dog by the walk. The walk's key. If you notice, my dog always waits for me to walk first. Always, always. That's really, really important. By her giving me the first, I get to go first, by her giving me that respect, that's wonderful, you know. When I'm walking with the dog and I'm trying to, if I have behavioral problems with my dog, I'm walking with her, then what I'm doing is I'm trying to, it's a good way for me to get discipline over my dog. So walks are key, very, very, very important. The person that's walking like this and their dog's pulling them down the street, they're not having a productive walk. They're not getting any discipline over their dog. The person that is choking their dog, they're not getting any discipline from their dog. The person that's walking calmly with little jerks as they go, and then the dog, at one point, you know, I never give her a jerk on a walk now, but it took a while. It didn't start off that way. You know, people look at her and go, wow, she's so well trained and she's so well behaved. Yeah, but it took time. She didn't come this way. You know, they don't come this way. And it's amazing to me how many people call me up and basically, you know, don't realize that, you know, with a dog, you have to put time and energy and work into them. Anything living that you bring into your house, other than a goldfish or a lizard, you know, you have to put some time into. It's very, very important, you know. But time, to me, is fun because I see results every day with my dog. So that's really, really important. Really important. Walks are key. Walks are key. Very, very important. Come on, Twister. Let's go. Come on. So, again, if she's too far behind me, what I do is I give her a little jerk forward, and I keep doing that until she catches up. When she catches up, she gets a little pat on the head, right? Or if she's too far in front of me, I jerk straight back, like I'm trying to hit her tail. Over and over and over. Alex, I've done that 100 times. Do it 200. It's basically like a child going, Mom, Mom, Mom. It doesn't hurt, right? And some moms right away, I see a mom already looking, going, yeah, that's you, right? Okay? You know, going like this. It doesn't hurt, but it's annoying. And after a while, it gets very annoying. You know, and that's what I kind of did with her, is annoy her to walk by my side, which is really, really important. Now, go ahead. Okay? Another thing I want to get to real quick and is calm, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I'm a true believer that dogs are healers. True believer that dogs are closer to Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it, than we are. They're animal, I believe that animals probably are. It's actually a proven fact that dogs heal. That's why we take them to nursing homes. That's why we take them to hospitals. That's why we take them to all the places that we take them. It's a proven fact. People have gotten better because of dogs. So I'm a firm believer in that. This is my healer. This is my dog that to me, you know, I come home after a bad day. She's the first one that comes up to me and sits and just looks at me. Now, a lot of people, when they've had a bad day, get away from me. I don't feel like dealing with you right now. I've had a bad day. You know, well, I come here, baby, give me some love, you know. It's what it's all about. That's what they're there for. You know, totally. You know, I'm a firm believer in that. But more so than anything else, what we try to do is I want her to be calm, but they get energy from you. Totally. They get energy from you guys. You're owners. You're the people that everything comes from, because remember I said dogs are not natural born leaders. They are actually born followers. They're born followers. So basically at that point, in a dog's mind, there can only be one pack leader. That might be, now don't get me wrong, I'll ask the question for you at this point. Can everyone in the house be a pack leader? Absolutely. All humans should be a pack leader. For this dog, if you took her, if any one of you took her, you are her leader. Now, if you don't have the knowledge on how to stay a leader, then what's going to happen is she's going to test you and test you. But once you've reached hierarchy, you do not have to continue to fight to be her healer. Really, really important. Really important. So, yes, everyone in the house can be the leader. But what happens is that your dog, if you guys ever know, with your own puppies or with your friends' puppies, you know, you can put them down in the front yard when you first bring them home, and they follow you around, right? You know, I'm walking, oh, my dog comes to me already, and she's only 8 weeks old. You know, she comes to me already, and she, you know, come here, baby, ah, yeah, you know, and she follows you around. Well, basically, she is following the leader, right? She's following the pack leader. But what happens is over time, and I hear it all the time, over time, you know, 3 months go by, and your dog has done 75 little things that in her mind she picks as dominant behavior, okay? But you did not recognize it. So now she goes, right? So now, well, she lets me do this. Maybe I can try to get away with this, which for a male dog may be marking, right? Or nipping, or whatever the case may be. So you start off dominant, and then people usually lose their dominance because they don't recognize signs or lack of understanding, lack of knowledge on what this dog's doing. You know, if I let her up to you guys, basically she'll come up to you and she'll sit, and then she'll put a paw up on your lap. Oh, look, she's giving me her hand. And if you don't have any behavioral problems with your dog, then it's okay. It's what you like, right? But if you have behavioral problems, you have to look for certain little things that in their mind is dominant behavior, like putting the paw up on you. That is basic dominant behavior. When people hear dominance, they tend to think, you know, mean. You know, dominance is not the attitude as much as it is a mindset. So basically, if I have a dog that has a dominant mindset, it makes it a dominant dog. When I want to be dominant, I certainly don't mean by strength. No. This dog can outmuscle me. It's not strength. It's not strength. Again, it's a mindset that I have, that I will not let you get away with certain things. There are just certain things you never, ever, ever open your mouth on a human being. She's had children basically around. My kids were small, small when I brought her in to my house. And basically, you know, I just could not allow that. Never, ever, even in play, never open your mouth on a human being. Just cannot be tolerated. So basically, every time I went to pet her as a puppy, she'd go, oh, right? She'd meet my hand with her mouth. And what I did was I gave her a little correction every time, and I didn't pull my hand away. That's where kids get into major problems, is they go to a friend's house or they have their own dog, and then they go to pet, dog turns around and nips, and they go, oh. Well, now the dog's like, ha, and then it jumps at their hand, right? And then the kid stands up, okay, the child stands up, and then the dog jumps at him because in the dog's mind he's playing, okay? But in the child's mind he's not, right? And then he bites their shirt, and then the child goes, ah! And now it's like, catch me if you can. I'm having fun now, right? So now the dog's on the back of the child's head, and people look at that as aggressive behavior, and truly it's not. It is more play, but again, it's dominant play, cannot be allowed. Cannot. So there are a lot of little signs of dominant behavior. Jumping on you, okay? With my dogs, I let them jump on me only when I give them the command, and that's touching my chest and going, okay. You know, that's their command to jump on me. And then they jump on me nicely, not putting me through the wall, right? And otherwise, if they jumped on me, they would get reprimanded for it, which I'm going to show you how I reprimand dogs as well. So it's important to understand that dogs are different than us. It really is. I mean, they don't reason. You know, I get a lot of people that say, oh, my dog bit me because I went by his food, right? So either he doesn't like me, it has nothing to do with that. If a dog turns around and bites you, the owner, or me, it certainly doesn't mean that they don't love me. They have no respect for me, but they don't it's not that they don't love me. It's hard, you know, when I started doing this, I was 14 years old when I started training dogs. I started professionally when I was 17, and the first dog that bit me, I was crushed. I was devastated. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe you bit me. I love you. I've been working with you so hard and feeding you. Why would you do that to me? Well, that's his way of telling me what I was doing was annoying him. He can't talk. He can't talk. So basically at that point, that's all it is a dog communicating. There's nice ways to communicate and not nice ways, and me bleeding is not really a great way to communicate with me, but that's all it was a dog's communication. So it's important to understand that they think and communicate different than we do, and if you get that, it kind of helps. And what I mean by that, you know who's got some of the world's best behaved dogs that I've ever seen? I went out to LA and did some dog training out in LA, and the homeless, the LA homeless, the homeless guys. Here they are, they're cruising down La Cienega, I think it was, and we're just, you know, walking, and we see them, and they got their shopping cart, and they got their dog, who's off leash, right? Never had a leash on it, probably ever. And the dog's a little bit behind them. Guy would stop, dog would just hang out there, not necessarily sit, but just hang out. Then he goes to his garbage can, then he starts walking again. And then he found something to eat or something, and he sat down, dog sat down. Here, you got people passing, dog's just sitting there, you know, with his owner, just watching, right? Really well-behaved, well-mannered dog. Why? Because he's treated like a dog, right? Oh my gosh, that sounds awful, right? He's treated like a dog. But he is a dog. So now you get Paris Hilton, who I did not see, and I'm just using this as an example. So here she comes walking by, her little chihuahua, right? It's out in front, leading the way, sees the homeless guy's dog, right? Going nuts, right? So, and here that homeless dog was just sitting, just watching, bark all you want, you know, boom. So basically, and Paris's dog's bed is probably more expensive than my house, right? So she gives it love monetarily, you know, by the, you know, the dog house. I actually saw something on TV where the dog house was incredible. Doesn't mean anything to a dog. Care less if he sleeps on concrete as long as you're by. This is incredible praise to my dog. And the reason being is because I am pack leader. I am leader of my pack in my house, dog-wise. Human-wise, I'm kind of low on the totem pole. My wife will tell you that, right? But dog-wise, I'm good, right? So basically, a dog's true love is to be by pack leader. If you ever watch Animal Planet or whatever the case may be, any of those channels, and you see the pack of wolves, basically you'll see a pack of wolves lying on the side, right? And then you'll see the wolf over here, the leader, the alpha. So he doesn't hang out with the pack all the time. Basically, he goes over here and relaxes, and then you'll see a dog get up, and when they come to the pack leader, They're very, very submissive. You know, they're cautious. And the pack leader will either look up and go back down, which isn't okay, or he'll, right? And then the dog will go, okay, and go back to his little pack, right? So basically at that point, if that pack leader lets the dog within 5 feet of him, wow, that's like heaven. They're in his space. Dogs really, 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 space is huge to a dog. Dogs get dominance 3 ways. 3 ways. Biting, shoving, and claiming things. All right? Biting, shoving, and claiming things. Biting. When they vie for dominance or you get too close to their food and they go, "Argh," and they bite, well, that's a good way to start off trying to dominate someone. Right? So they bite, lash out, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And then they shove. If you've ever been to a dog park or you've been around a group of dogs, you're standing there and all the dogs are playing, and then you'll have a dog that comes up and just puts his body right on yours and just leans against it, right? In his mind, that's dominant behavior. It's dominant behavior. So basically what you do is you give them a little knee back away. Boom. And basically that's my way of shoving, is I shove the dogs. And basically biting, claiming, and shoving, claiming a bone, claiming space. You'll see a lot, you know, the dog's fine. Here you have a dog. There's somebody with his dog, and I get here, and the dog's fine. But boy, I take one more step, and then the dog, "Brrr!" You're in his space. You're in his space. So that's something, space is huge to a dog. So the fact that I allow my dog, or you allow your dog at your feet at the end of the day, it's huge praise for them. Huge. Feeding, praise. Huge praise for them. You're giving them food. You know, you're giving them life. They love it. Really, really, really important. So treat your dog like a dog. What I mean by that is no yelling. Yelling is bad. Yelling's awful. Yelling. What are you doing? Bad dog. Da, 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 da. Yelling means nothing. All it does is get your energy bad, because you went from being happy to, oh my God, there's my couch all over my floor, right? So let's yell at the dog. Well, you're not doing anything by yelling at the dog. Nothing. It does nothing for the dog. You'll see the dog go down. Again, no remorse for chewing your couch. He had a great time doing it, right? No remorse, right? So basically at that point, energy. They pick up your energy. You had a bad day. You're in a crummy mood. Your dog knows it before anyone in your family. Dog knows it right away. Like here, I work with people that, you know, their dog has dog aggression. So they get by a dog and they're like, oh, please be good. You know, they stiffen up and they walk like this. Please be good. No. Your dog, you have to relax. You have to relax. Because when you go from, hi, honey, I'm home. Oh, my God, look at the couch, to from here to now I'm really mad, right? In a dog's mind, you're actually unstable. It goes from stable to unstable. So when I say unstable, I don't mean that you, me, or the dog is crazy. We just went to an unstable place with our energy. So we got to keep our energy level low. If you're reprimanding, and if I could do this as a parent, right, I would be the ultimate parent. Never reprimand out of frustration or anger. I'm really good with dogs. Really good with dogs. I never reprimand a dog because I'm upset. Don't get me wrong. I get upset that the dog ate my couch. But the only thing I can do is give them a correction. Anything after that is not productive. It's just not productive with a dog. So forgive and correct, forgive and forget. Really, really important. So don't get unstable. Don't go shoom with your dog and take it out on your dog. No frustration, no anger. We reprimand our dogs because it's what we have to do to keep order in the pack. So there's no emotion. So here, Alpha and the Wolf, if you guys have ever seen Marlon Perkins or whatever, you know, here the puppy gets out of hand, what's Mom do? Mom runs over there, grabs his neck, puppy's going, rah, 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 screaming, right? Mom brings him down to the ground, and submissive urination. This is where it comes from. Puppy starts peeing, right? Mom's still on him. Rah, rah, rah. It sounds like Mom's killing him. You're going, oh my gosh, what's going on, right? And then she lets him up. Puppy gets up and trots off and starts playing again. That's how Mom reprimands a dog. That's what's instinctive in your dog's mind. It still is. It's still there. That's what dogs know and understand, right? But we would rather do human things. Bad dog, get in the bathroom, or get in the cage. I'm going to close you up, give you a timeout. Dogs don't know what timeouts are. They just don't. They just don't. So remember, reprimand, forgive, and forget. I'm going to show you guys several different ways to reprimand. Okay. Also, remember, stay stable. Stay stable. If I saw that my dog ate my couch, I would honestly be more afraid of my wife than I would be anything that I'm going to do from the dog, right? So basically what I would do is I'd go reprimand the dog, and then I'd start cleaning it up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Plus, dogs do not follow unstable leader. There is no unstable dog in the wild. Dogs are not unstable in the wild. Okay? Listen to that. That's really important. There are no unstable dogs in the wild. Why is that? Because mom, number one, will not let that happen. And then that transfers to pack leader, right? They will not allow an unstable one in the pack. If they're born unstable, something not right upstairs neurologically, they actually kick it out, and then puppy dies or whatever, right? There's no unstable dogs in the wild. But we have tons of unstable dogs. Well, yeah, because we bring them in, we love them. We love them and we bring them into our world, and we don't recognize little signs, so we make them unstable. And as much as we love, we have no idea what we're doing. Actually, humans are the only ones that follow unstable leader. Humans. It's horrible to say. I.e. Hitler, or whatever the case may be, right? I would say Bush, but I won't go there. I won't go there, right? Thank you. But seriously, we follow unstable leader. Dogs don't. Dogs don't. Not at all, right? So, a couple of ways. Shoving my dog. I'm emptying my dishwasher, or actually I'm loading it, right, after dinner, and all the little food particles are still on the plate. Can't just be my dog. Your dog goes in and starts licking the dishes. I never cared because they're going in the dishwasher, right? So it never bothered me. Well, when my daughter took that over, for some reason it just crushed her world. So we had to stop it. So what I did was basically shove. And if you see, she sat for me. She's not sitting for me. I didn't tell her sit, right? She's not sitting for me. She's submitting for me. Submission is key, right? I want my personal dogs, I think every human dog should be submissive toward human beings. Look, your dog doesn't see you as Nancy, Jim, Joni, Alice. They don't see you as that. They see you as human, strong or weak, right? And you don't want to come off weak with your dog. I have an American Bulldog. Most people confuse her with a pit, right? When you own a dog that has bull terrier, English bulldogs, the cocky, they're wonderful, aren't they? Any bully breed, any hunting breed, you need to know dog behavior A to Z, or you're going to have a problem behaviorally with your dog. So basically, well, she's real calm and she's a sweetheart. I mean, loves people. But that's because I knew what I was doing, but the key is to remember, is to stay stable around your dog. Really, really important. I'm sure many of you guys have seen Cesar Millan, right? The dog whisperer. Hello, I am the dog whisperer, right? So he's great. I actually know him. He's a great guy. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Great guy. Doesn't do obedience, does behavior. And you see him ting, and in 15 minutes the dog's like perfect. No, he had to ting like 700 times. TV makes us look way better than we are. That's up to you, Mike, right? So basically at that point, TV makes us look really, really nice, right? So you did not see the 4 hours that Cesar put into that dog. Okay, I mentioned Cesar. There's others, but Cesar's probably the most famous. Biting, fingertips, huge. Really important. If my dog's doing something that I don't want, and what you're doing is you're touching, you're getting your dog's mind off of being distracted. I just reprimanded her. and she actually didn't sit for me, she went down, right? So by her laying down, that's actually a higher stage of submission than sitting, okay? Because I bit, she knows it. Trust me, she knows that, right? She knows that, she knows the shoving, okay? So basically, because I bit, that's a higher form of discipline that I gave her, even though she was being pretty good, right? She's like, what did I do? She actually went down, which is more submissive. There's 3 stages of submission that your dog's going to give you. Sitting, which is the first stage. What'd you do? You know, laying down, which is second stage, highest stage. And the third highest stage is actually rolling on the side and keeping their head down. So like here, okay, that's huge. You guys can stand up if you need to see this, but that is huge, huge. Relax, relax. And basically, that is the highest form of respect she can personally pay me. That's better than any kisses. Hey, we love kisses, right? This is the most important thing she can do for me. It's just to hang out, right? Relax. Boom. That is the highest form of respect she can give me. Okay, okay. Hello. Okay. You're good. That's how I tell her I love her, right? So that is the 3 stages of submission. So here, when I go like this, come on, now she's going to be very submissive. I never have to reprimand her anymore, only when I come do these, all right? So here, I gave her a little shove. She sat. Now she laid down, but if I bite, she lays down right away. It's just a higher form. But nothing there is to hurt. I'm not kneeing. It may look like I'm bringing up my knee. I'm just shoving with my knee because she's at that height, right? So last thing I want to show you guys on this, excuse me, food, a cookie. Should be a dog cookie, but a cookie all the same. Smells good too, right? So I'm going to give her a little piece, right? So that she, there you go. Okay, now watch. I'm going to claim this, okay? Now watch, step between, shove. Now it's mine, right? She wants it. She wants it real bad. And when you're doing this with your dog the first couple of times, she may get it, right? But I'm claiming it. Here, this is my kill. That's how she looks at it. She doesn't look at it as a Salerno's really good smelling honey cookie or whatever it is, but she looks at it as kill. She has to respect me because I am alpha. It's not that if she gets it, I'm going to hurt her, but she's not allowed to have it, right? She's just not allowed to have it. That changed once my children grew up and stopped dropping all the stuff on the floor because they used to clean the floor for me. But now, no. Okay? And now, you may have it. Got to give her the cookie, right? But so basically, what I do to claim anything, human, dishwasher, door, front door, food, whatever it is, you done, step between, and back them up, right? Not once or twice like you see on these shows, okay? Not once or twice, but many, many times. So if you have a dog that runs out the front door, then what you should do, start off with a leash so that your dog doesn't get away from you, right? Go to open up the door, dog's ready. Instead of going sit and stay, right? You could do that. But the problem when you tell your dog to sit and stay, when you use obedience, is that if you don't do it every time, he doesn't hear that stay, he's gone, right? So, and you're not stopping the mindset, which is energetic. Oh, I need to go outside, I need to go outside, I need to go outside, right? So at that point, step between, shove. Now he walks back, but he doesn't sit. Remember, you want him to submit to you, okay? Walk into him again, softly, gently. Okay? And at one point, you may go from here to the wall, but he will sit. Then you walk over, boom, and you will have a dog that's completely calmer. After 3 or 4 times. You know, really, really important. Let's see what else I want to cover here real real quick. You know, it's funny because training. I get people that call me up and they're so overcomplicating training. Training is simple. It's very simple. There are a few little things that you do that are very simple to train your dog. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't put reasoning into your dog's head and this, and don't be in denial. I see a lot of people in denial. Oh, my dog bit me, but it was because I got near his food. Yeah, so. Or it was because I grabbed him when he was running out the door, or because this or that. No, absolutely not. There's never a reason for a dog to bite you unless you're abusing or you grab them if they're hurt, right? No other reason. It's very important. Keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple. One of the biggest mistakes I see people do is they give affection at the wrong time. Huge, again. All these are pretty large parts. What I mean by that is, you come home, you got this puppy. Remember, I am specifically talking to people that have issues with their dogs right now, behavioral issues. If you got a 6-year-old dog like her, and she comes running at me when I come into the house, but she sits and she's good, I can give her love. But remember, something about when you're praising a dog, verbally or physically, when you're praising a dog. You are nurturing the mind state that the dog is in at that moment. Dogs don't live for the past. They don't live for the future. They care only about now. That's why I love them. Well, wouldn't that be a nice way to go about life? Not worrying about what's coming up, next bill coming up, or what happened in my past. So more so than anything else, they only care about now. So at that point, it's important to remember that they live for the moment. So if you're praising them when they're really, really excited, remember, you're nurturing their mind. You're nurturing that excitement state of their mind. Also, here, the dog's getting angry. I've seen people, that come into, I can't go into my kitchen, my dog's eating. And they're paying the mortgage, but the dog's telling them when and where they can go out the door, right? So basically at that point, and then they go, oh, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's not okay, number one. Number two, all you're doing is nurturing that state of mind of aggressive behavior, right? Which you cannot do, okay? So you got to remember, praise your dog whenever you want. I'm not telling you not to praise your dog. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is make sure that when you do give him praise, love, okay, that he is in the state of mind that you want your dog to be in. Like now, calm, good dog, good dog. Now comes play, now comes whatever the case may be. But the dog doesn't get to come up to me and dive on me. Here I've gone to people's houses and I sit on the couch, and before I can even sit down, the dog's on the couch like this. Pat me, pat me, pat me, pat me. Oh, we let him up on the couch, and now he starts licking my face. And then it's like, well, what if I didn't love dogs? Number one. Number two, if I touch him right now, I'm even going to make him worse. He's even going to get more excited. And if I praise him again, what I'm doing is I'm instilling it in his head that this is proper thing to do. No, it's not. Well, we let him up on the couch. I let my dogs on furniture too. But when I tell them to come up, they just don't come up. And they always let humans sit first. And if there's a human on the couch, then they definitely wait to ask to be come up. I have three articles of furniture that my dogs are allowed on. I got 2 lazy boys for them and 1 couch. And they're allowed on those. But the nice couch, my wife's couch, no. And they've learned that, right? I don't even get to sit on my wife's couch very often, okay? And then I have a guitar room, and they have a chair there as well. So basically at that point, but they're never, ever to do that. And I can't, if you go to your neighbor's or your friend's house, and they have a dog, and their dog's really spastic and hyper and crazy, worst thing you can do is pet, because all you're doing is training that dog that you're reinforcing that behavior. So remember, nothing until you're calm. If you guys have watched any of the dog training shows that are on now, you'll notice the trainer comes in to the house, doesn't look at the dog, doesn't talk to the dog, doesn't touch the dog. 9 times out, because they're having a trainer come over, so that means they have behavioral problems, right? Where if I walk into a house, I do the same. Don't look, no touch, no verbal, just leave the dog alone. And here I've got a dog that's humping my leg or whatever. Oh, he always does that. That's okay. Again, that's not sexual. That's dominance, right? Here I get one leg in, and they're on me. And it's like, no. They get no affection from me until they're calm. Really important. Really, really, really important. Very important. Twister. Twister with a W. Yeah, right? Twister. Although she doesn't really care. I wanted to go over a couple of things. What makes you alpha? How can you become alpha over your dog? Okay? Doorways. Here's a doorway. I'm going to use as an example. Okay? Good girl. You got a Salerno cookie. How cool is that, right? That's her pay. Okay? What we don't want is this, right? I'm taking my dog for a walk. Wham! Yeah, okay. So, again, you go through first. Why? Not so much obedience. I could go, sit, stay, where with my dog, that's sit, that's stay, right? And now she'll do it. Okay? She's a good, calm dog, okay? But what I would recommend first is, remember, cut between, touch. Now we go, right? I was kidding, right? Now we go, okay? So that actually already starts the submissive mindset for when you see the rabbit, squirrel, dog in the neighborhood. I already got her. If you notice, her ears are back, okay? Her tail's not straight up, right, which is dominance, right? Ears back, tail down. I don't want it between the legs, but I want it down. And we're cruising. So I already got her in a submissive state of mind, which is wonderful, which is really, really good. Now she's going to be easier for me to handle when she sees the squirrel, bunny, rabbit, whatever the case may be. Feeding your dog, one of the highest forms of praise you can give your dog. Really, really praise. We look at it as, like feeding the children, it's just something that we have to do. Where the dog, most dogs, it's the highest form of praise. You're giving them food. You're giving them life. They love it. First, again, you claim the food like I claim the cookie. Right? They have to respect. It's just adding respect. These little things are just adding respect. I see so many dogs. I have my main location, and then I have trainers in 4 other locations. So we see between at least 100 dogs a month for training, at least. And all these people that come in, they have their dogs love. But what we want them to have their respect as well, because truly you don't have true love until the respect's there too, right? Really, really important. So you claim the food like I claim the cookie. Just stack them up. Now you may go. It is yours. If you ever see, again, I keep referring to Animal Planet, but whatever, the kill, once they've got the wild wildebeest or whatever it is these days, who goes in first? Alpha. Boom. He takes certain organs from the animal because those are the ultimate organs, and the dogs know that, right? Then he backs off, and then they all come in and they fight amongst them, and they come in and gorge. But Alpha doesn't. Alpha comes in first. Well, he gets the heart, liver, a couple other things. I forget. But and then the pack comes in and they gorge. But Alpha always goes first. Again, doorway, food. Alpha always comes first. A lot of trainers say, oh, it's not cool to let your dog on the furniture, especially your bed, right? It's just not cool. Listen, if you have dominance over your dog and you want your dog on the furniture or on the bed, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's a big myth, If you're having dominance issues with your dog's aggressive, well then no, not until, but with a well-behaved, well-mannered dog, it's okay. I come to bed, my wife goes to bed first. She goes to bed with 2 small dogs and 130-pound dog. So I come in, and I have about this much space, right? Because the dogs are like this, right? So basically, actually what happens is I come in, the big dog jumps off automatically. I don't even have to say anything to him anymore after 500 times, right? And then the two little dogs, which was the hardest, go down to the end of the bed because I don't want a little dog in my face. Not when I'm sleeping. Because what happens is then 2 o'clock in the morning, they start cleaning themselves and wake me up. That's the only reason. Really, that's truly the only reason. So if you have no issues with your dog and your dog gets on furniture, it's okay if you allow it. But it's not okay if you don't. It's not okay if you don't. How I might have said this, but I'm going to say it again. I like my dogs to jump on me. I like that. Certain times. Every once in a while I have to dress nice and I don't want, and of course I'm just like you guys, black pants, white dog, going like this as I'm walking out the door, putting my pants on as as I'm walking out the door. But that's all part of having a dog. See, I don't mind that because I understand it. It's not his fault he sheds, her actually. So, going on the bed, if you don't mind it, or you jumping, again, I go like this, boom. Yeah, right? And they know it's okay. But otherwise they get reprimanded. And if they jump on me, calm, boom. The more hyped up your dog is, very important. Let's say you come home tonight and your dog's just, hey man, dogs have no concept of time. That's why it doesn't matter if you leave for 3 minutes or 3 hours, they're still the same excitement, right? So here, you come in and they're, number one, no affection, right? Number two, if you're trying to calm them down and your dog's not trained, then your leash is your friend. Walk right past your dog. Meanwhile, he's like this, pat me, right? Okay, go to wherever your leash is, turn around, put it on your dog, and remember, zen out for a sec. Calm. Because when I'm like this, I'm way more in control than if I'm going, sit, no, sit. Good dog, here's a cookie. No, sit. No, right? Stay calm, stay relaxed, stay mellow. Remember, the calmer you are, the quicker your dog's going to follow suit. Well, I'm calm and he's still not. Well, it takes a little bit. But stay calm. When people bring me in a dog that is either aggressive or just crazy hyper, right? When they bring me in a dog, I'll tell you what I do. I say real quick. First thing I try to do, remember, I'm a true believer that my energy transfers your energy on the walk, right? Your energy transfers right through the leash. Totally it does. I see it all the time. People are walking with their dog. They want me to come to their house. I walk in their neighborhood because they have a dog fighter. We bring out the neighbors. They're walking the dog. I take the dog, give it like 2 jerks. Okay. Because I don't want to say this. This sounds wrong. I don't care how the dog behaves because I will stop it. I will not allow it. So I don't care that he blows up or that he, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter to me because I just won't allow it. So it may take me 30 times, but I'll stop it. So it's embarrassing here. Oh my gosh, I'm downtown Prospect Heights or Mount Prospect or Des Plaines, and here's another dog, and my dog's going to blow up, and it's going to be so embarrassing and frustrating. No, why isn't he listening? No. It's embarrassing. Totally been there. I totally understand, right? But it's something that, with some time and some work. First thing I do, put a leash on the dog when it's hyper, real crazy. Boom, put a leash on the dog. Got to. Otherwise, sit. Yeah, okay. Right? Second thing I do is just touch the dog for a minute. Just touch his head and just stay calm. Relax. Now let's walk. Now I start walking. Boing, 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 boing. Right? My little jerks. Boom, boom, boom. Relax. But I'm not keeping up with the dog. Right? Dog wants to walk fast, so here I am like this. No, I walk my pace. Right? And give my little jerks. Boom. Right? Really important. So don't follow your dog's movements. It's easy to do. I see people start off like this, but their dogs want to walk fast, and the next thing I do, I see them like this, right? So no, stay really, really calm, really relaxed. and make your dog walk slow. Make your dog walk slow, and then you can speed up as your dog gets good, right? Really, really important. Stay calm. Calm. Calm is key. Calm is key. Walking, I see it all the time. Number one, flexi leads. I'm just going to get to this real quick. Flexi leads, hate them for training. Hate them. Here you got the dog 75 feet out in front of you, it's peeing on every tree and pooping in everybody's yard, right? Here, you got Slugger walking and zzz, it's like a fish, it's like a whale, right? No, bad, okay? Reason being, okay, your dog's now way in front. His chest is out, his ears are up, his tail's up. He is owning the world. He's claiming everything from there to you, and it is all yours. If you have behavioral problems, not the leash for you, okay? Nice 6-foot leash, right? Nice 6-foot leash. I know I don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying to get to some stuff real quick here. In a car, that's a good thing here. In a car, I have a little Dotsie that I just rescued a month ago, and lots of behavioral problems. Lots. I mean, some quality, she found me or I found her, I don't know. But she was in 4 homes. West Suburban Humane Society brought her in because she was biting. She bit everybody, just like everybody. So I pick her up. It's this cute little dog with eyelashes out to here and eyebrows up to here, right? And just beautiful. And she bit my hand, but she didn't hurt. But it's scary, you get it, and it's like, okay. So basically, it's a major puppy play that went way bad, way wrong, because when you bring puppies in, they're biting. She never stopped, and very easy to get out of, and it's something that she's already getting 1,000 times better. But we always joke because she'll be sitting there and you'll be petting her for 2 minutes, and then and it's like, oh, she's hearing voices. She's Britney Spears reincarnated, right? We call her Britney because she has high highs and low lows, right? So basically, but any behavior, if you put the time into it, you can correct it. Something about this dog caught me. And if you have major behavioral problems with your dog, if you don't quit, you find a qualified trainer, you can work through it. Again, it's time, it's repetition. I want to show you guys just real quick a couple of things. Collars. You got your buckle collar, right? Your buckle collar. First of all, 6-foot leash, very simple. Use it, great. Way better than a flexi lead, okay, while you're training your dog. Very simple. Leather, nylon, doesn't matter. No, you're not going for a walk. And then choke collar, right? The things I used to always train with, choke collars. Great collar, boom. Put it on. And jerk and release. Everything is a quick jerk and release. Reason being, right, jerk and release, boom, okay? Reason being, that's how mom bites. When mom actually bites, she doesn't bite and hold, although it looks like she is, she's actually releasing pressure, boom, and applying pressure and releasing, boom, 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 boom. That's how she reprimands, okay? Choke collar, quick jerk and release. If you are, actually I put it on backwards, but if you are like this, dog's going, no, jerk and release, jerk and release. Some people use these. Some people use these. And people go, oh man, look at that, right? Oh. It's called a pinch collar, training collar, prong collar, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's got many names, many other names that people have given it too, right? And what happens is you put it around your dog. These little spiky things don't go into your dog. It pinches your dog. The whole theory behind this collar, and whoever made it in Germany, is basically these little spikes, when they're on the dog, represent mama's teeth. Brilliant. And basically what happens is, she's worn this many times and I have no problems putting it on. If you have a dog that's very hyper, or that's very strong, or that pulls you. I actually believe that it's safer than these because these put so much pressure on the trachea of the dog that these are actually kinder for your dog. Again, you're not going and keeping it tight. Boom, boom, boom. These are actually a great tool for big, strong dogs. Love them. And they look awful, and they're not. They look awful because we are human, right? I wouldn't put that on my child. Well, that's not your child, it's your dog. Great tools, great tools. Last, I think I got time for, but not least, how many of you guys have problems getting your dog in from the backyard? Anyone here? Nice, good, someone, beautiful. Well, see, it's not so much that, it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm in my bathrobe, right? I'm ready for bed, it's raining out, let the dog out, open up the sliding glass door, Tippy, come. Tippy's found some raccoon poo or something that's way more exciting than we will ever be, right? Tippy, come here. Tippy's nowhere to be seen, okay? So now it's like, So you put on your slippers, you walk outside, now your feet are getting all muddy. You get this close to Tippy, and Tippy's like, I'm not ready to come in, right? I know it well. Why? Because I've been there a million times. So, basically, this is what happens, okay? What I do, put this on, let her out, boom, watch her the first couple of times I put this on, and what I do is I say her name once, Tippy, come, nothing. Always say her name before come. Always say their name, it gets their attention, okay? So, Twister, come, okay, she doesn't come. What I do is I walk up, keep walking, now I've hit the end of this. What I'm not going to do is grab here and reel her in. She's not a fish. Come here, right? Boom, boom, boom. She's not a fish, okay? This is to stop your dog from running from you. It's not to get her to come to you. It's to stop the dog from running from you, okay? So if I call my dog and she's in the house and she does not come to me, I only call her once, okay? Because if I call her once and then call her 4 times the next time and then call her 3 times the next time, how's she supposed to know I want her to come the first time I call her, right? So all I do is if I call them and they don't come to me, my goal is that I can walk up to my dog, grab the collar, and jerk 3 times. Come, come, sit, right? 3 jerks, 2 for come, 1 for sit. So let's say I call them, they don't come, I go up, I grab, come, come, sit, 3 jerks, okay? But the worst thing is when you call them, they don't come, you go up to them, oh, that's very frustrating, very, very frustrating. So to stop the running, again, put the long line on, it's called a long line, 30-foot leash, not a flexi, 30-foot leash, right? Okay, go up to my dog, I've called them, didn't come, my goal is if I can make it there without them running, I grab, come, come, sit, 3 jerks. But let's say now they take off because I'm in their little space. I hit a certain space, right? Just remember pop and drop. Bend down, dog's running, right? Bend down, grab it, no, and then drop it. So what I did was dog runs from me, bend down, grab the long line, pop, no, drop it. Now they get reprimanded, they turn around and look, and I don't have a leash in my hand. You're like, what's up with that, right? So then I repeat the process. Tippy, come, okay? And if they don't, I walk up, grab, come, come, sit. Or if they run again, just remember, pop and drop. No. Boom. Come here. Once they take a step toward you, good dog. Then praise. But not, Tippy, come, okay? Because, oh, well, my dog comes every time when I do that. Okay? One time they're going to see a cat, squirrel, deer, whatever, and your Tippy, come, and your happy little voice is going to mean nothing when they're, hightailing it after the rabbit. So basically when I call them in a command. My commands are not military, come, sit, down. No. I'm telling, but I'm doing it in a calm, assertive way. Sit. I'm not going sit. Or I'm not asking, sit. No, sit, calm, right? calm but yet assertive. I have to be assertive because that's what dogs follow. Very, very important. Very important. So now, I think that's, last but not least, last one. Then we'll get to questions, okay? Huge, huge. You're all here because you love dogs, okay? You love your dog, you love dogs, whatever. You love some dog, so I love that you're here, okay? When you're trying to train your dog to behave in your house and to conform to your pack, right? You are alpha, okay? When I say alpha, that doesn't mean that you're strong and you can kick your dog through the door or anything like that. That's not what alpha is, okay? Alpha is dominant. Dominant is a mindset, okay? Alpha, when you're reprimanding your dog and you've done it out of what's in your heart and you think it's the right thing to do, even if you did wrong, alpha is never wrong. If you're correcting from your heart because it's what you believe, even if it is wrong, you are never wrong. You are never wrong. How do I explain that? You know, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to go home and, well, Al said I wasn't wrong, you know, and the dog's going to, now that's wrong, okay? But if you're doing it from your heart and you're trying to get your dog to behave, when you feel bad for your dog in training, listen, I get rescue dogs that I can tell you some stories that are just brutal. Somebody brings a dog into me, an animal shelter, the Buddy Foundation, all these foundations that I work with, and humane shelters and societies and whatever. I've seen some just horrific things, what people do to animals, okay? We're not going to go there. But basically, more so than anything else, these dogs come in and they're crazy because they've never had direction. And here, you know, they may have a cut in them or whatever the case may be, and I want to do nothing but hug and hold this dog and say, it's okay. Make them feel safe, because when dogs, that's all that matters to dogs, is feeling safe, okay? But I can't, because if I do it at the meeting, first time I meet this dog, okay, he's going to perceive me as weak. And then if I'm weak, I make things so much harder. So when you bring your puppy in or you come home every night and the dog runs and dive bombs you and knocks you out the door, you can't bring your mother over because she's 90 pounds and your dog's 100 pounds and he flies out of love, but he sends her to the neighbor's front yard, you know, and it's weakness, okay? So basically at that point, alpha is never wrong. Listen, if you correct from your heart, you're never wrong. And it's because otherwise your dog, if you feel sorry and you feel bad, they're going to perceive you at that moment as weak. So there comes a time for love, affection, and don't get me wrong, that dog that came into the animal shelter does not get what I want to give them as a human, which is nurturing, love, for days. But then they get it. And when they get it, it's the coolest thing. It's the best thing. But I can't start that way. I can't start that way. So keep in mind, you correct from your heart, you're never wrong. Even if you made a mistake, don't dwell on it. Move forward. Dogs want to move forward always. The reason why I love training dogs so much is because whatever happened in her past, or any of my rescue dogs, excuse me, whatever happened in their past, they've forgotten about. Only if I dwell on it are they going to dwell on it, because they get everything from alpha. Alpha is their life. So at that point, move forward. So what if this dog used to go after other dogs? It will stop now. Why? Because it's in my pack and it has to. Very important. Very important. Great. I'm going to grab my glass here and so I can speak some more. And does anyone have any questions? Let's rock.
Where do you get the 30-foot leash?
Where do I get it? You know what? Pet stores have them. These are specially designed by me. They're called Light Lines. Try going onto the internet, Light Lines, or you have my card. You can always come and get one with us. Yes?
How do you stop the dog from, our dog sits up on the top of the lazy boy and he looks out the window, and if somebody goes by he doesn't like, you know, another dog, he goes crazy.
Yeah. That's actually a very, very, very good question, because you and probably half the people here have that. Listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say no, like it matters. Al, I've said that like 7,000 times, right? But I got to give them the chance, okay? So what I'm going to do, you have a small dog, I take it. Otherwise, I hope. Okay, I was hoping it like wasn't 120 on your back of your couch. So, come on, there you go. So basically, no once, say the name first, Tippy no, okay? And then when he doesn't, what I want you to do is I want you to gently push him off that, so he's falling on the cushion, right? Okay, we're not pushing him the other way, right? Okay, push him where he falls off and don't let him get back up there. What you're doing is you're claiming the window as yours. So although I like that he barks when people come to your door, because I like that, I got 5 dogs. When you ring my doorbell, sounds like I let out the kennel. I love that. I love that. But I can look outside the bay window, see who it is. Okay, that's enough. And then they just dog them, But, so your dog's up there, see somebody. Even if you get that first, correct that. Say no more, okay? It's easier to correct when they first start than as it is when they're in the full blown out, right? So go up, no, nothing, no response at all, okay? Just go up, push off, and then give them a little touch, like the little bite I showed you, okay? So push, once he's on the little seat, little bite, no more, relax. If he wants to go back up, let him, okay? Repetition, push him off again, boom, another little bite again. Our bites, remember? Boom. Doesn't work so well on kids, but dogs it works really well on. Boom. Remember, I get people I had a friend of mine that had a problem with her dog, and I showed her kind of what to do. And she called me up 3 days later. I'm biting this dog, and it doesn't matter, right? Yes, it does. Okay, remember, you're doing this. Mom, mom, mom. It will matter. But you have to bite hard enough. People say, well, how hard do I correct? Okay? Well, I correct hard enough to get a response from the dog. So if you go, boom, and he doesn't even look your way or anything, he keeps looking at the bicycle or whatever, then you didn't bite hard enough. Okay? So do it again. No, but keep your voice calm. It's not no, 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 right? Bad. Okay? So here, boom, nothing. Do it a little bit harder. And when he looks at you, relax. Good boy. Okay? Your question?
Stop puppies from mouthing.
Great question. Puppy biting. Keep in mind, I'm generalizing here, okay, and it works most of the time, but I'm generalizing. If you have any specific problems that we don't cover tonight or that you try and it doesn't work, call us, whatever. We'll help you out. But I put the puppy in my lap. How old is your puppy? Okay. Nice. Beautiful. So what you do is at 8 weeks old, 6 or 8 weeks old is when you're bringing the dog home, okay? Got to have a couple hard toys. Really important, right? Okay? That dog's going to bite you. You're going to give him a little push off. I don't care if he's this big. Give him a little push off your body, okay? Put a hard toy in his mouth. What he's going to do is go and go right back for your hand, right? Because your hand's way cooler than any toy that you can give, right? And you just, no, put the hard toy in his mouth again. Little touches. Touch. No. Boom. You can touch anywhere from the dog's neck down to his back leg, right? Before his hip. So anywhere from the side up to the neck. Boom. No. Even with an 8-week-old puppy, you can start doing this. Obviously slow, calm, soft, little shoving. Make sure that you already start, after you've had the dog home for 10 days to 2 weeks, you start blocking the food and you wait until he's not going to sit, but he'll go, then, okay, go. All these little things that you want to do. But the moment he puts his mouth on you, he's not teething, right? Not until 5.5 months old. And even that's not allowed to put his mouth on a human. Teething, bad. They don't teeth on humans. They teeth on ice cubes or hard toys. But just keep putting that hard toy in his mouth. To save your sanity. My gosh, he's driving me crazy. He's chewing the couch. He's chewing my hands. He's chewing the kitchen table. There's nothing wrong with taking time, picking the dog up. Okay, before I kill you, I love you. Put him in the cage and take some sanity time. 30 minutes an hour, right? Right? Okay, now I'm ready to come out, and deal with you again, But puppies are very, they test your patience, and it's something that, I swear by cage training puppies. Swear by cage training puppies. It's the best thing to do. You know, and kind of go from there. But repeatedly, boom, boom, hard toys, lots of toys. Kong toy with a little peanut butter, always a good thing. Anyone else? Questions? Yes.
I have a body that was just rescued.
Cool.
How, because I've had them before and they're very strong, how hard do you do that? to-
Every dog, that's a great question. How hard do I correct? How hard do I reprimand? You can also do a collar correction too if they're wearing a collar, okay? In this instance, you got to correct as hard as you need to get a response. Start off slight and slowly find out what works for your dog. Great Danes, very temperamental dogs. I touch them. Whoa, what did I do? I'm sorry. Where Chihuahuas, wham! They're, hey, I take on the world, right? So Chihuahuas have, it's temperament. It's how temperamental your dog is, you know, to how hard you have to correct. So every dog is different. I can have 5 rots and correct one like this, and then one I have to correct harder, you know? It all depends. You'll find out as you do this how hard to get a response from your dog. Yeah. Yes.
I've got a dominant aggressive male after.
Okay.
He was taken back from the breeder. I've had him for a couple of years now. You know, I've tried, if I correct him, I can correct him to a point. If he gets hurt, he'll turn and attack. I've got big scars where I've been grabbed. How do you know when it's too
Well-
much except for when you
Well, that's a good, and again, none of my corrections are to hurt. None of them are to hurt.
You know, I keep a Martingale type collar
Yeah,
on
right,
all the time.
right.
And I've had it where, you know, I'll grab it and I'll twist it to get it tight enough to get him off, but he's a big, strong guy.
Right. And that may not be the collar. And unfortunately for you, I would tell you, I don't want to tell you anything until I see your dog, because if anyone here has a dog that has behavioral problems to the point of it's made you bleed, the dog biting has made you bleed, which I see all the time, okay? You need to come see me, or a professional, any professional, you need to see me.
You do like evaluations.
Free consultations. Bring the dog in. Reason why I want to see the dog, and probably all the other trainers out there, is to make sure that genetically your dog looks good on the outside. Because if I can find 5 things genetically wrong with your dog by looking in the first 5 seconds, now we wonder what's going on inside. So genetics are important. I like to see the eyes, see if they're clear, all that good stuff. And I see things after a while that you know.
He's from one of the top.
Yeah, so.
He's had all the his parents had all the genetic testing.
Right. So, yeah, I would definitely say you need to bring them in, you know, and let us take a look. Yes.
When do you retire the cage?
When do I retire the cage? That's a great question. I had a lab that it took me about 1 year and 8 months. And I've had dogs that I retired the cage on in 7 months. When I feel like the dog's not getting into any trouble when I'm home, when I'm asleep, they're running the house, and they're good, then I leave for an hour, half hour, depending on how much you trust your dog, 15 minutes, and then I come back, and that's how I start retiring it. After, 2 hours, then you're pretty good. Yeah.
Is that long leash attached to something, or it's just loose?
Just loose. Never tie it. Don't use the tie-outs either. Tie-outs are bad for dogs, where you screw that thing in the ground and they got that airline cable cord, right? And then they're cruising around. That is awful. Yes?
I have a problem at the table with my dog. It's crazy. I cannot invite anybody in the house. Scratch everybody.
Yeah.
Vocalizing and everything
Right.
possible way. I'm just don't know.
So first and foremost, okay, if he knows you don't want him doing that, okay? He knows, of course he does. He loves you, okay? But you got to get that respect. How do I get that respect? Start off by, have you been to any obedience classes anywhere?
Yes.
So if you haven't found something that's working for you, try somebody else. Try somebody else.
But it's common some suggestions
For what? Like if you're at the dinner first of all, I'd have this collar on, that spiky one, okay? And what, when you're eating or when people come over?
I'm eating.
When you were eating. So he needs to go back to your obedience. Here I'm telling you to go back to your obedience. Down stay. You learn down, right? Your dog downs on command. Lay down, right? Boom, stay. Now, break out some food. Do this when you're not eating. So you're setting up your dog for bad behavior so that you can stop this issue. So if your dog's terrible when people come over, hire a neighbor kid to come and ring your doorbell. Ding dong, because that's what sets your dog off. All right, you know, and work on that issue when it's not your friends, when it's not people. But so here, I have a problem eating, then don't wait till dinner when you're going to get all frustrated. Let's make a training session. I got 15 minutes. You know, sit down, stay. Boom, bring out the bag. Now he's broken his down, stay. Remember, calm and repetition. No, bring him back. When they break their down, stay, they get 3 jerks. Sit, down, straight down, sit straight up, down, and stay. Do that 300 times, and your dog will be good. It's funny because I have a boarding and training program at my school. And if you don't get it in 3, do it in 600 times. You know, and basically what we do is we take the labor out of that, out of the people, so that we do that 300 times. Listen, people call me a great dog trainer. I've done this for many years. I've been in this area for many years. It's a privilege and wonderful to be called that, or they call me Chicago's dog whisperer, blah, 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 whatever, okay? You all have it. You have everything that Cesar Millan has. You have everything that I have. You don't know how to guide it. Everyone here is a dog whisperer. Dog whispering is discipline without obedience. That's what dog whispering is. And pack mentality. You all have the ability. You don't have the knowledge. So basically, if you came into me and you said, I want this dog, I don't want it back until I can eat dinner, all you do is pay me for the 700 times that I go back and correct your dog. That's all you would pay me for. Some people, I've had people in the middle of a lesson, I'm not doing this, you take them. I don't have the patience for this. But see, I know and understand that this is what it takes to train a dog, so I don't get angry, frustrated, or mad on the 57th time. Where people are going, God, this isn't working, and I'm blah, 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 right? Not me. You'll get it. So keep going. Yes, sir.
Would you say that a dog can be too old to train, or
Too overtrained?
too old?
Too old to train. No, well, you know, obedience-wise, yeah, but behavioral-wise, no. You know what? I train dogs 9, 10, 11 years old. You know, so no. Old dogs can learn new tricks. It's easier if you do their mentality, pack mentality training, because it's instinctive, as opposed to teaching them human. He'll sit down. Yes, sir.
Mine is not a problem with the period. I'd like the answer, maybe you could tell us. Our dog is 3 years old, and for 3 years, every night, she goes to bed with us, and when we turn off the lights to go to sleep, she jumps off the bed and runs through the whole house till she finds, in the dark, 2 of her old bones, the same bone. And she brings them back and lays them in bed with her. She doesn't play with them. She just wants them on the bed.
It's hers.
All night long. every
Sure.
night.
She's bringing it to her den. It's her prized possession. So that could be like a dog bone than a dead rabbit, right? You know, that's what she's doing. She's bringing it into bed. Yes.
How do I keep my 13-pound, almost 9-year-old Western between my feet and I'm flying across the room?
What, walking-wise, when you're
Yeah,
walking?
I'm walking, she loves to do that.
Yeah, so if she's cutting in front of you, you know, that's actually a good question, because if you're walking and she's deliberately cutting in front of you, which dogs do, that's dominating behavior. So you stop, don't fall. Once you're not going to fall, you stop, you push her back away from you, and you give her a bite. Boom. Because a lot of that can be, I get people all the time, I'm walking my dog and they cut in front of me and I'm like on the ground. You know, and it's something that, you know, that's dominant behavior, and don't allow that. Yes?
If you go to somebody's house and the dog is big and jumps at you and is friendly, you should turn around with your back to the dog.
Most dogs that will work with. The reason why I don't tell you to do that is because you're not solving the dog's problem. So like, for an example, great question. She was told, and she was right, that she walks in when I do seminars for like ComEd guys, right? And if you turn your back on a dog, they're very much less likely to bite you than as if you're looking at them. Not all dogs, okay? But less likely to jump. They want to see you. They want to be in front of you. So basically at that point, but by turning your back and stopping the jumping that way, what you're doing is you're not stopping it for the next guy and the next guy. Everybody's going to have to turn their back. Dogs need negative consequences for negative behavior. What is negative consequence? It's how mom reprimands them. If they do something wrong, she physically corrects the dog. What you saw me doing by pushing, shoving, biting, that's physical. Boom. They need that to stop quickly. If you do that, you can do that, 2,000 times opposed to my 300 times. It just goes quicker. That's all. Anyone else? Yes, in the back row.
I appreciated your first answer about which dog was from South.
Yeah, I've been there, done it.
Well, but our dog is very small and very fast, and
Nice.
she runs. I can't catch her to correct her because
Yeah.
when she sees someone at this window, she's over to the next window.
Yeah, right? So you're diving like a goalie, right? Boom. What you need to do is you need to go to PetSmart or wherever, your local, right? And get a cat leash. They're called cat leashes. People walk their cats, right? And they're about this long and they're very light. And you need, let's say the kids get out of school at 3:30, the bus comes. Make sure it's on your dog. So if your dog starts to go, just step on that leash. Your dog will correct himself. And then no, right? You got to be fast. Absolutely, yes.
Yes, I have a problem where I can be just sitting in the kitchen or with my husband, and one of the dogs will just, for no reason or other, start barking. And I mean, she's got a very shrill, pitched.
Nice.
I mean, you're vibrating.
Yeah.
And she will start the other ones.
Yeah.
To the point where they could probably get into a fight.
Yeah. If a dog's barking and you want to stop it, no matter why it's barking, whether it sees Johnny out on the bicycle or whatever the case may be, it just starts barking, you got to first tell them no. You got to give them a chance to respond. If they respond, after correcting 100 times, you're going to go no, and your dog's going to, you're going to go, holy cow, what did I do today? And it will work. But no, and when they don't, what you need to do is you need to walk up to your dog, either grab its collar, give it a little jerk straight up, or a little bite. Boom. No. Excuse me. Let's say that doesn't stop it.
I can't catch that one.
Then we need to go back to the cat leash, right? Your leash, guys, your leash is your friend. If your dog's running from you, and you're trying to correct it, put a leash on your dog so that you have some way of, I have to do that to grab your dog, and your goal is, boom, I missed. I'll get you. Take your time and walk, and you'll get them. It's just a matter of when. So, been there, done that a million times, right? And then, it's a great feeling when you catch them. A great feeling when you catch them. Oh, I caught you. Yes, now it's my turn, right? Yes, in the back.
We have a rescue dog that we had for 2 years, and he was severely abused. And after 2 years, he finally learned that some people are nice.
Right.
Except my one son. He will not go anywhere near him.
Your son
If
needs to take
He comes
Yes.
into town and he stays with us for a
Mhm.
couple of days. That dog just stays in one corner. Cannot get him to go outside. You cannot get him.
What you need to do is when your son comes into town, take your dog, put a leash on your dog, your son, you having the dog on the leash, right? Okay, go for a walk. Okay? So, dog, left-hand side, because I'm a trainer. Your son, just start walking. Once your dog stops paying so much attention to your son, which may be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe a 15-minute walk before your dog even stops looking at your son and really, caring where he is and what he's doing, then hand off the leash. So as I'm walking, right, here, my son's here, okay, you take it. And then have your son start walking. And your son will be walking with the dog. The dog may fight, resist, your son keeps going. Because here, if your son shows that he's alpha, that is actually calming and nurturing to a dog. More than, I love you, I'm sorry, it's okay. It's not nurturing to a dog. It is to a human, but it's not to a dog. So leadership is what's nurturing to a dog. Huge. For dog behavioral problems.
Now he'll come to him if my son is laying on the floor.
Yeah. So go out every day and walk and have your son walk the dog. But you start it off so it's not too much stress right away.
He
Yes.
steals food off the grocery bag
Oh,
before I put it in.
right. So you got to do the same thing I did with the cookies. But set it up. You guys, that's a great question. You know, my dog steals the rump roast or whatever, right? You know, it's a wonderful question. You have to do what I did with the cookie, but I don't want you to use your dinner. Don't try to test them out on your dinner. Test them out before dinner. Let's say, you know, 5 minutes before dinner. Take out a piece of American cheese, put it right on the coffee table or the counter, and have it hanging off. So he's looking at it, right? And then, you know, you go up, and when you see that he's you know, then you step between, right? Shove him back, a little bite, no. Boom, right? And then walk away, turn your back, use the compact makeup mirror if you have to so that you're looking this way. Yeah, be smarter than your dogs, because your dogs are incredibly smart. So they'll see that you turned your back, wham, right? Dogs are incredibly smart. They look at your eyes. It's a proven fact that they know when you're looking and when you're not looking at them. Very smart animals. Yes, ma'am.
Our dog suffers separation anxiety.
Oh, yes, yes.
He will not go in the cage by himself.
Yeah.
We usually have to, find where he is in the house
Right.
and then say,
Bring him
stop.
over.
It's a dachshund, so it's
Oh.
not too heavy to pick up.
I know dachshunds.
Yeah, we've had him for 45 years.
Yeah, nice.
But this is the first one we've trained with a cage when
Right.
we leave the house.
Right.
So we decided, no, we're not gonna train him with the cage. My
Right.
husband built a couple of 32-inch gates.
Nice.
He jumped over it.
Yeah, right.
I was in the other part of the house, I thought, what is he doing
So he
here?
needs a 50-inch gate,
I picked him up,
right?
put him back in the kitchen,
Yeah.
get around the corner
Yeah,
like
right.
this, and I see him go, whoop.
They're amazing. Amazing animals. Amazing
right
animals.
over.
Amazing animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And actually, if you made it 50, he'd probably start scaling it where he's climbing it.
With the anxiety, he licks the cage. So
Anxiety-
it's like sopping wet.
Yes, anxiety is actually, there's many theories on it, and I have a theory that most people don't like to hear. It comes from dominance. I've never seen a dog with major separation anxiety that was not a dominant dog. Even people's dogs that cower to them or, no, and like this, in its mind, it's still dominant. It's a dominant dog. And what happens in the wild is that the wolf, the alpha, always leaves the pack to go on the hunt, right? The pack, never full pack leaves alpha. It's just not right. It's just not right. It's not instinctive. So here you have alpha, or a dog that thinks he's alpha, right? His pack leaves. Well, that's not instinctive. That's not right. That's bad. What do I do? Oh my gosh, right? Huge, huge, huge.
We
So,
think it's because he was one of 4 pups, and he was the main one that was always to the bowl first.
yeah,
Ate.
right? See, dominant behavior. So get.
German in him.
That's right. Need I say more? I learned from 3 of my mentors were German, so great dog trainers they were. Yes, ma'am.
I have a dog and I take her to agility. And
Nice.
And she loves it, but the thing is that she gets so nuts while we're waiting. She just works herself,
Right.
works herself. I mean, she like sounds like a monkey.
Yeah.
And she's jumping and, even if she gives me submissive behavior,
Right.
like lays down,
Right.
she's like whining,
Right.
The whole time. And I just can't get her to be calm in that situation.
See, so at that point, I don't know, that's a very good point. I personally would not worry about my agility at that point and worry about her mindset. I know you want her in that hyped up mindset.
No, I want her to be calm.
Okay, so
She gets plenty hyped
think-
when she goes to
right,
I'm trying
right.
To get her calm
So-
when she's waiting.
Right, in the waiting stages, but once you send her, I know you want her to, right? But so what I would do is I would go to agility class a couple of times, not even work my dog on the agility, maybe one run at the end, and just start working her. Heel, sit, calm. Not, because again, she's like this, so you have to, it's almost like you have to drop a Valium. Here she's looking at all the dogs, as you're walking, heel, sit, down, start. That's where your obedience comes in. And you work her for 20 minutes until she's calm. You'll know when she's calm. You'll know. I mean, if you're that far with your dog, you'll know. And when she's calm, you bring her back up to the line, sit, down. 2 minutes, she's calm, and then you see it coming again. Boom, no, heel, get out of line. Heel, sit, start working your dog. but very monotone, without emotion. See, remember, alpha in the pack does not, he's biting, he's reprimanding a dog, not because he's emotionally mad, or upset, frustrated with, keep order in the pack, to keep the pack stable. Your dog's losing stable mindset, so now you have to just really calm, really, really calm, really calm. Work your dog, then take him back into line, and then when she starts getting crazy again, you know, nutty, bring her back out. Don't worry about agility, because your dog does that well. Worry about her mindset. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
That when she hears the doorbell, she runs like a rock black. I think she barks constantly, and I can't catch her. Do I get the leash?
Yeah, use that leash. That leash is key. But have someone ring the doorbell for you. Like a neighbor kid or a neighbor. Buy him a bottle of wine. Not the kid, but an adult neighbor, right? Buy him a bottle of wine and truly have them come over. You know, ring it 3 minutes a day until she's calm. Yes, well, they're herders.
Oh, I know.
So that's part of their, but you know, you'll see that what'll happen is that after 4 or 5 days, you'll actually say no and your dog will slow down a little bit. But you gotta have that leash. That leash is key. That leash is key. Someone over here? Yes.
Any advice for picking out a dog for a shelter or rescue?
Oh, geez, that's a great question. That's a very long question. That's a yeah. You know what? I'm gonna answer it pretty quick. I have a lot of advice. You want a calm, stable dog, or the calm or stable dog. You're looking for dogs that aren't circling. You know, when you walk, you know, you'd like to see the dog that's not, you know, at the cage door. You want to see a calm, relaxed dog. Your goal is first look for the calmest dog in the shelter. Okay, that may not be calm, but it may be the calmest dog in the shelter, right? Then take it out. Walk it a little bit, right? Because they let you walk them. You walk them a little bit. And then just for kicks, try just turning into them and touching them with your leg and see what kind of response you get. You know, if he goes and bites your foot, nah, I'll take him back, right? But if he you know, looks at you like, what would you like me to do? That's a pretty good guesstimate. But walking and make sure that he's good. Look for the calmest dog in the hood. Yes, ma'am.
My dog will, she'll walk with me, but then she gets this thing of sniffing. And
Yes.
she'll start smelling and she gets ahead of me.
Yes. Great question. I don't allow my dogs to sniff on walks. The reason being is because if they're sniffing, their nose is 65% of their brain, and basically at that point, then their brain's not on you. It's not on you. So at that point, if I allow their on my walks, I walk them to a place that I want them to go to the bathroom, right? They just don't go on every tree and pole. So if they're sniffing, I give a little jerk up while I'm walking. No. And it may take 20 or 30, but then when the head comes up, good dog. I can't allow them to sniff because that's 65% of their brain, and that means nothing to me. Let me say one thing. I think that's all the time I have for today. I certainly appreciate you guys coming out in this lovely spring weather, right? I certainly appreciate you guys coming out. I hope that every one of you gained some sort of knowledge, because that's what makes these worthwhile. I hope you learned something today. It really, you know, means a lot that you guys took your time out of your day and came here. Thank you guys very much for being so attentive, and thank you for coming. Thank you. You guys are great. Yeah. We're not now, but we do, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, right. Have a call. Always. Thank you very much. I do. Yeah. Make sure you have